I really miss physical media, so I bought an entire PS2 collection, but I did it blind. Before we see what I got, let's take a look at how I got here. Help! Help! A couple weeks ago, I was indulging in my favorite flavor of brain rot, Instagram Reels, when I came across this video.
Creamy stuff! In the soup, Remy.
This doesn't have anything to do with the video, it's just hilarious. This is the one that I saw.
What if digital games could be as flexible and convenient as game cards? Introducing the virtual game card. In the future, virtual game cards can be used for digital games.
So Nintendo is releasing a virtual game
card.
It's gonna let you squeeze all your digital games onto a physical cartridge so that you can share it with all your friends and family. I think it looks pretty cool, and physical media is making a really strong resurgence, and it makes sense. Streaming services keep raising their prices. Oh, now you gotta watch ads. Oh, you really like that show? Yeah, we don't have that anymore, sorry. That'll be $22, please. And I find myself starting to gravitate back towards physical media too. Like, hold on. Like, I just bought a film camera. Do I have any idea how to use it? No. But I really enjoy the tactile experience of having like a physical shutter button and looking through an actual viewfinder. It's just a much cooler experience than tapping on a phone screen, you know? And the same thing goes for video games too. There's something almost sacred about popping open a new game, reading the manual and throwing it into your console and just enjoying it and making memories with your friends. Now, is having the physical disc practical? No, of course it's not. But there's something to be said of actually owning something. In the age of subscription services, it's almost rare to have a piece of media that's 100% yours. End of story. I can play it when I want to. I can do anything I want to it. You don't have to rely on an internet connection or some company's servers being up. The world could be ending. People would be out there eating each other. And I would just be relaxing, playing Need for Speed. So I wanted to start building up my physical game collection, and I figured what better console to start with than my favorite one of all time, the PlayStation 2. Growing up, there were so many cool games on the PS2 that I never got to play because my parents were dealing with the Great Recession. Yeah, I had to deal with the Great Recession every day at school too. We played Foursquare after lunch. It was awesome. So I don't want to hear it. But now that I'm an adult and a functioning member of society, and I don't have recess anymore, I can collect and play whatever PS2 games I want. And then I'm gonna eat 3 packs of fruit snacks, because nobody can stop me. Now, the only problem with building a game collection is that it can take a long time. Like, some people spend their entire lives collecting, and I don't have the patience for that. You guys have seen my For You page.
Hey, what is that? Hey, what is that? What is that? What is that?
No, I want my collection, and I want it now. So where's a man to find a video game collection? There's Facebook Marketplace, we could check on there.
Oh my god.
So maybe Facebook Marketplace isn't the move. There's Craigslist, but I really enjoy not being locked in somebody's basement, so I guess eBay it is. I noticed a lot of these listings when I looked up PS2 collection. The pictures make it look like it's a big collection for sale, but really they're just selling them individually, and they just didn't want to take pictures of each one. Most of the lots I found were just games that weren't really worth anything, or they were super expensive. I was having some real trouble finding anything worthwhile. After a couple weeks of searching, I found something interesting. So I was scrolling through eBay, and I think I found something worth looking at. It looks like an entire PS2 collection with like consoles and controllers and everything. The only issue is that this is the only picture. So what I'm thinking is somebody stumbled upon this like in their basement or garage or something, and they didn't want to deal with listing everything separately, which could be huge. I mean, if it's not picked through, there might be some pretty good stuff in there. Or it could be all, Madden 2K. So it's a real gamble, but I think we're gonna go for it. And so that brings us to modern day, where $250 and 2 weeks later, and we did it, boys. That's right. I'm now the proud owner of this guy's collection. So I'm gonna make some space and then we'll talk about how we're gonna appraise everything. Okay, now, you know what? This one's gonna stay right here. We're gonna just leave this one here, because that is heavy. We're gonna go through all this stuff. Like I said, I don't know what's in here. It was just the one picture, so it's all a surprise for me. I'm really, really excited. We're gonna use pricecharting.com to keep track of the values of everything. But at the end, we'll get a count of total games, consoles, controllers, and just see how much my new collection is worth. I'll let you guys in on a little secret. I did open the boxes just to take a peek. I resealed them with my own tape so you can get the full effect of me opening them. So we'll start with the little box. There was a Guitar Hero controller that you could see in the picture. I would venture to guess that's probably what's in this one. You know what? Before we get started, hold on. You know what they say, safety first. You feel like you're in for your colonoscopy. Here comes the airplane. Ooh. So as expected, it does look like we're looking at the Guitar Hero controller. I do know the wireless controllers, they need like a little piece that plugs into your PlayStation, and those are like really hard to find. So if that's in here, we're looking at big bucks, man. So no wireless connector, so that's not ideal. We're getting into the good stuff now. I got 2 of these big boxes. This is where all the mystery is. I have no idea what's in these. Like I said, I'm super excited for this. This is pretty wild stuff, man. I wasn't expecting there to be this many consoles. We got 1 PlayStation, 2 PlayStations, 3 PlayStations, 4 with the network adapter. There's 5. There's 6. There's 7. I think that's it for the consoles. Looks like they all still have the warranty seals on them too. On the fat PS2s, there's this little black warranty sticker, and to open them up, if they need like repairs or anything, or if somebody's messing around with the inside, you have to break the seal on the sticker. So if you get one that's intact, you know it's never been opened up before, which is probably a good sign. Or it means they're all broken and somebody didn't want to fix them. All right, I'm gonna set these to the side. We'll take a closer look at them at the end. All right, now let's get into the games here. I'm taking the gloves off, dude. My paws are getting all clammy. I'm taking the risk. Hopefully this guy didn't store his, rat poison with his games. We got our first banger, Star Wars Force Unleashed. This game was so good. I guess this guy must have got a little hungry, took a little bite out of it. Here's an interesting one. I didn't know they made a Terminator PlayStation 2 game. We'll have to look this one up. A lot of times these old licensed games, like the real niche ones, this can be worth a little bit sometimes. More sports games, Madden, NCAA, MLB. Oh, let's go, baby. Need for Speed Most Wanted. We got 2 of them. Pets Cats 2? Let's go. Holy shit. That's box 1 down. Here's box 2. All right, let's see what we're working with here. That's looking good. They also didn't put any packing in this one. They just kind of fucking tossed everything in there. FedEx is always really gentle with their packages, so it's really okay. Oh my god. Oh, what do you guys know about Spider-Man 2 on the PS2? Oh my god, dude, this game was so good. We're gonna have to test this one. This one will be the first one we're testing for sure. For my research trying to find a collection to buy, I did see that the Harry Potter games, if you have all 3 of them for the PS2, they actually sell for a good bit. Simpsons Road Rage, that's a pretty decent one right there. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3. Banger, man. Oh, Guitar Hero 2. We can use this with our controller. Oh, we're gonna be shredding, dude. What the fuck is this? Rampage Total Destruction? I've never heard of this. Look at the fucking cover art. This looks like somebody made it in like their graphic art class in senior year of high school. Sly Cooper, that's a pretty good one right there. They used to put so much effort into the manuals. Like, look how cool that is. There used to be personality in everything. I think that's all of the games that have cases. But there's still a bunch in here that are just like loose with sleeves. Wow, we got a lot of GTAs. Liberty City, San Andreas, 3. X-Men Legends, that might actually be a good one. Fight Night Round 2. Fight Night games were really good. You got a demo disc for The Punisher. Look at that, not for sale demo disc. That's super cool. If this was like the actual Punisher game, that sells for like a ton of money. Well, now we're talking. Hell yeah, brother, we got Cabela's Deer Hunter. Cabela's Deer Hunter 2005. Yeah, brother. Dude, no way. Got G1 Jockey 3? Is this like a horse racing game? That might be the coolest thing I've ever seen. We're definitely gonna have to play that one. We got the PS2 online startup disc. Oh no, there's no disc! Probably supposed to get online, dude. Alright, last game. Go, let's go! Online startup disc! I can finally play with my friends. I think that's all the games. We still got, a bunch of controllers in here too. Some of these are pretty gnarly looking. This thing looks edible, dude. Like if I was 8 years old and I had one of these, I would definitely be trying to eat it. I'm gonna say it. I'm a little bit overwhelmed here. I want to lay all this stuff out so we can get a better view of everything that it came with, and then we'll sort everything out, check the values, and see where we're at. Now that we have everything out of the box, I made myself a nice cup of coffee, threw on some tunes, and got to work pricing, sorting, and documenting each game. We're walking away with a total of 102 games, 29 of which were sport games. Tell you what though, I got a pretty nasty Madden collection now. It's worth literal ones of dollars. 71% of the games were complete in box, with the rest being just loose discs. There were a handful of standout games. To my surprise, the most valuable one was Terminator 3. Along with that were 2 copies of Need for Speed Most Wanted, which I'm personally really excited about because I love that game. We also had some Sly Cooper, The Force Unleashed, Spider-Man 2, and Spyro, all games that I really enjoyed playing growing up. We had a handful of racing games that I never knew existed. Like, who knew there was a horse racing game? I mean, I do now, and it's my favorite thing ever. We got a ton of shooters too. There was a ton of Medal of Honors, which I'd like to revisit because I've never actually fully played through any of them. There were a ton of Call of Duties, including a World at War port that they made for the PS2, and I'm really excited to try that because I've heard nothing but horrible things about it. And all 3 SOCOMs, which my father-in-law loves, so I'm gonna check those out too. And just a bunch of other really cool stuff, like tons of GTAs, Star Wars games, Mortal Kombats, like just a ton of cool stuff to check out. I mean, overall, I'm really happy with the game selection here. Like I said, most of the games came complete in box, and most of the boxes and manuals were actually in pretty decent shape. In the cases that were beat up, I could just switch those out and steal a case from a game that I didn't care about. Except for when stupid ass GameStop decides to put stickers directly on the cover art for some reason, instead of the case. That way you can't take it off the game. Stop! Please! There were a total of 7 consoles and 14 first-party controllers, along with a handful of like Pelican and Mad Catz controllers, which I don't really count. But before we can see how much everything's worth, we have to make sure it all works. As far as the games go, I'm not really too concerned. They all looked like they were in pretty good condition, except for this Midway Arcade disc that looks like it got run over a couple of times. No, not Midway Arcade! Now, as far as the consoles go, well, I guess we're just gonna have to play a bunch of games. For science. So I dug out the wrinkliest lab coat I could find and sat down with my wife to play a few games and test everything out. I had a few games that I knew I wanted to play, but they somehow worked their way to the very bottom of the box. It was such a pain in the ass, dude. I felt like one of those cave divers who see like an inch big slit in the ground and they just start wiggling their way into it. I think I can fit between some of these games.
Tony?
There's some pretty good games down here!
Oh my god. How'd he fit in there?
So dumb. The first game I dug out was Need for Speed Most Wanted, and we threw it into one of the 2 slim consoles, and it worked. Kinda. Brother, what?
Hey, brother.
Alright.
No?
Alright.
That's what it is! Excuse me, brother. Which one is it? Pardon, mister?
When we would switch games, it would have some trouble reading the discs sometimes. If I kept trying, it would eventually start working, and once the game actually loaded, it played completely fine. It seemed like the lasers just needed cleaned off, so I dipped a Q-tip in a little bit of isopropyl alcohol and just rubbed it on the lens to clean it off, and I did that on both the slim consoles, and seemed like they both started working fine after that, so I think they're good to go. After that, we moved on to some of the fat consoles, and to be honest, I wasn't extremely confident in them because they were making some pretty gnarly noises. But to my surprise, they all pretty much worked. One of them wasn't reading discs, and one of them had a broken controller port, which is pretty easy because I can just take the working controller port from the one with the broken disk drive and put it in there. So we can kind of Frankenstein another one together, which means there's really only one console that's not in working condition. We had so much fun playing these games. It was so nice not having a terabyte update to do before playing the game. Like, you could just open one up, put it in, and start playing. It was awesome. We played some Need for Speed Most Wanted, some Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, played some Simpsons Road Rage. Have you ever watched The Simpsons? No. I probably watched like one episode in my life.
I always mix this up with Family Guy. Well, which one's the guy who backs into the bushes? He's one of these guys.
Backs into the bushes.
In the meme.
Oh, that's Homer.
From this. Homer Simpson.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ah! The Schwan Man. No! The Schwan Man. It's the same dude.
We tried playing Big Red 1, but I guess there's no local multiplayer for it, so we just ended up playing a little bit of the campaign from that. It's not supposed to be funny.
No, I know. I know, that's not. That's not.
What are you laughing at?
I'm sorry.
And then we got to the last game. Rampage Total Destruction. You know, I wasn't really too sure what I was expecting from this game. It wasn't a lot, I can tell you that. But it was much worse than whatever I was thinking.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
But I mean, we just had so much fun hanging out, playing stuff. We were partying together. It was fun. And with all the testing done, I could finally sit back, relax, and enjoy my collection. Except I couldn't help but feel that something was wrong. Was I being too greedy? Did I really need a collection this big? There were so many games, I couldn't even see the floor. I can't cover that. I like to walk on that sometimes. Okay, maybe I went a little overboard. I mean, don't get me wrong, having a big collection is really cool, but do I really need 4 Dance Dance Revolutions or 14 controllers? I don't even know 14 people. I think I have a better understanding of why people collect things now, but having a bunch of games that I'm just gonna sit on a shelf and never play just so I can say that I own them, I don't know, it's not really for me. It's like what they say about alcohol, everything in moderation. Or something like that, I don't know. I was too busy slamming beers to hear them, am I right, fellas? So I set aside 1 console, 2 controllers, and the games that I would actually play, and then I listed the rest for sale, hoping that I can recoup my initial investment and maybe make a little bit extra that I can use to buy some games that I would actually play. And now that I have my collection finalized, all I have left to do is find a way to display everything. Ideally, I want to find a way to display it on the wall behind me in my videos, right next to my hand-painted Bold and Brash painting. I was a big fan of Achievement Hunter growing up.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, God. Oh, my butthole. And I always thought those floating game shelves they'd have in the back of their videos were just the coolest thing ever. So I think it's time to get in the car and take a little trip down to my favorite mom and pop hardware store. I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but I always feel like kind of weird walking into hardware stores. Maybe it's because I'm not super handy. The only woodworking project I've ever made was a life-size Minecraft pig.
Chicken jockey! Chicken jockey!
Chicken jockey! Chicken jockey! Chicken jockey!
I don't know why I feel like I have to fool the workers into thinking I know what I'm looking for, but I'm not gonna go up to like a retired carpenter and be like, I'm looking for something to hang up my video games. It's for a YouTube video. After wandering around for probably longer than I should have, I found these L brackets and some wood screws to go with it. So I rushed back and got to work. So I just got back from Home Depot like 2 weeks ago. I got sidetracked, alright? But we got some wood screws and brackets. Here's the plan. So we're gonna take a game that I don't care about, and we're gonna try to cut out some divots in the plastic so that the brackets fit in there. Hopefully, if I don't fuck it up too bad, we'll be able to just pop this onto the wall and then use this as a shelf and stack them up. So Madden 08 No memory card slot. So I think this is the one we're going to use. So sad. I have to sacrifice one of my 9 copies of Madden 08 to do this, you know? I guess I'm just going to hold this here and try and chisel it out with the knife. Hopefully I don't, you know, slip and go directly into my stomach. All right, yeah. We might be in business here. All right, so I just got to do that on the other side, and then I think we're going to be looking good. All right, so we got those cut in there. So now I got to find a way to secure these brackets in here so that they're not wiggling around. And I'm just going to use some packing tape because I feel like that's going to be enough, right? Games are pretty light. I think we'll be okay. Ah, shit. So now we just into the wall. It's going to work. It's going to work. Trust me. Why does it feel like I'm doing this in the fucking hardest way possible? Oh my god, you motherfucker. Oh my god, I'm gonna fucking crash out. Packing tape wasn't really working, so we're on to plan B, which is hot glue. So I guess we just gotta wait for that to warm up a little bit. So, how you guys been? Good. Yeah, I've been doing good too. You know, just working, the usual, nothing new, nothing crazy. Yeah, it has been a little bit warm lately. Hot glue is hot. Who would have thought? Ooh, bars.
That's an awfully hot
glue. So I think I miscalculated how strong a PlayStation 2 case was going to be. And it's like, it's too flimsy. So I think if I put them like right here, it would be a lot more stable. I think I put them a little bit too close together. So I'm going to try it with this one. We'll see if that works any better. And then if it does, I'll have to fucking redo that one, I guess. So we got the second one on with the brackets further apart using hot glue. And it was so much easier and feels and looks a lot better, I think. So I'm going to redo the first one and then thank God we'll be done with this. Ow! So as you can see, I got him hung up. It was a real pain in the ass, but it looks fine. I'm kind of disappointed with how it turned out. I really don't know if they're going to be staying up there very long. What do you guys think? Does it look okay? Should I leave them up? Does it look as bad as I think it does? So there we have it. The beginnings of my PS2 collection are finalized. I don't really feel the need for a ton of games in my collection because realistically, I'm still going to be playing most of my games on either my PC or my PS5 so I can play with my friends. But I think it's really cool to be able to take a step back in time every once in a while and experience those games that I really loved growing up the way that they were meant to be played. And I know I've been kind of edging you the whole video, you know, just dangling the final value in front of you like a carrot. So the final value for all of the games put together using pricecharting.com is around $797. Now that's in a perfect world where everything's gonna actually end up selling and for honestly, I think a lot higher than market value. I think a more realistic valuation of everything would be to cut that in half and put us somewhere right around $300 to $400 for the games. And as far as the consoles go, I did already sell 3 of the fat ones while filming this video, and I sold those for $200 even. So I do have 3 left. I'm gonna keep 1 console for myself, so I have 2 more to sell. We'll be a little conservative and say $100 for those. And then we have the 14 controllers. I'm gonna keep 2 of them, and we'll sell the rest of them. I should be able to get around $13 after shipping and everything for each one of those. So putting everything together, I'm definitely coming out ahead on it. And it's going to be really nice because I'll use that money to buy some of the games that I'm missing and really fill out the collection of games that, I'm actually going to play. So this is a little bit of a different video than I usually make for this channel. I'm really curious. Let me know if you guys enjoyed this direction or if you guys would like to see more videos kind of like this. I know this one took a long time to come out and it was a bigger project, right? So there's that. But also we started watching The Walking Dead and I've been really sucked into it and we've been just ripping episodes of that every night. So I've been kind of slacking on the video stuff. But we got to the episode and Glenn just died. So videos are gonna be coming out a lot faster. I think I'm not gonna be too distracted with that show anymore. I'm gonna go play some more Rampage Total Destruction. All right, we'll see you guys later.